Okay. I think we're good. Okay, so I have some fun things for you guys. Oh, that's so weird. So I was going to try and watch the comments on my iPad, but it does not seem to want to join the internet. So let's just, because sometimes when they come across the screen of my program, there we go. Okay. I can't always see them. Okay, so I'm going to tell you the story about how this all came together. So when Close to My Heart put out the In This Together, I started playing around with it, and I have a full 12 by 12 scrapbooking workshop. It's all ready to go. It's like live on my blog, and there's extra SVG titles in there, lots of fun stuff. So I created something for you guys. So lots of people are having a hard time scrapbooking the pandemic, and I totally get it. So I put together some fun and then some serious scrapbooking titles. And if you're interested in the list, just place a comment in the feed that says list, and I'll add the link to it. So you can print them off and just add them to your package with all the stuff that you're going to use to scrapbook the happenings of today, because not necessarily does it have to be pandemic related, and not necessarily do you have to like focus in on that. So the list is fun. There's lots of funny ones on there and stuff. So that's just a little aside. So then earlier this week, somebody messaged me. I think it was Sue messaged me, and she said, okay, I buy your workshop files all the time. Have you ever done an 8.5 by 11 workshop? And I haven't. And it's funny because I actually really like that size. That's the size I started scrapbooking on when I first started scrapbooking. And it's funny because I look at the size all the time and think, oh, I'd like to do something with that. So I'm going to start a little series that's going to be a series of a kind of how to adapt a 12 by 12 into an 8.5 by 11. And we're going to do some 8.5 by 11 scrapbooking pages. I'm going to show you how you can add them back in to a regular scrapbook. And because I thought, it's kind of a fun size. It's a little bit different. I love the mix and match of page sizes. And then also, if you don't want to do lots of pages, I thought it's a great alternative. So we're going to do a little series over the course of the next few weeks that are going to be adapting sketches, and then after everything all goes through, then I'll put these together as a sketch with the measurements on them. Some of them are obviously going to adapt. These are like by the seat of my pants, so we'll see how this goes. So I printed some photos, and we're going to use some in this together. We'll probably use a whole mix of different things, because I think that too, the 8.5 by 11 can be a great size to kind of do whatever with. So you could easily swap it out for other papers or use things from your stash. But so for the first set, I thought, because I did a whole pile of sketches yesterday, so you'll see them coming as we go through this. But I thought, well, let's start at the beginning. So Close to My Heart did put out their own workshop, and so there's a lot of extra paper and stuff. So we're gonna scale some of this down to be some 8.5 by 11 pages, And then you're going to see some of my own come in here. But I thought that would be a good way to start, because some people have a hard time with the 8.5 by 11. So we're going to take this first layout, and I've completely adapted it. And I think also this would be a great time where you could use it as a regular scrapbooking page. It doesn't necessarily have to be anything pandemic related. Okay, so I don't like how they don't have the two of them beside each other anymore. But okay, so we're going to adapt this layout. That's the left and that's the right. And that's kind of where we're starting from. But we're going to switch it up. Like I said, we're going to work on with an 8.5 by 11 size. So I've grabbed literally some of the contents from the bundle. I've grabbed some extra stuff. So the first thing we're going to do is they had 12 by 12 backgrounds with Lagoon. So I cut my two pieces of Lagoon down to 8.5 by 11. Okay. And I have scaled down measurements, and then I've added in extra pieces. So like I said, I'll add those to a sketch. Okay, I'm going to make my table bigger. There we go. Okay, so we'll take some elements from the workshop, and then we're going to do some stuff all our own. So I've cut two pieces of white daisy, and these are 1/4 inch smaller. So they are 8 1/4 by 10 3/4. And the first thing we're going to do is I wanted to pull in the Lagoon from that little edge that they have here. So they've got just a little skinny edge here. So we're going to take our Lagoon shimmer brush, okay, and we're going to splatter the white cardstock. Just add a little A, sparkle, because sparkle is always good, and B, just to break up the white space a little bit. So I just put down my all-purpose mat because everybody knows I'm super messy. I've shook my Lagoon shimmer brush. I'm going to put a little drop, or a big drop, depending on what you think of it, on my block, and I'm just going to splatter my backgrounds a little bit, just to break it up so it's not quite so much white. And I don't even know how I have white got shimmer already on the other white piece of cardstock that was way over there. Okay, so we'll probably use this again, but we'll put the lid on it, and I'm just going to wipe off my block, or I will end up with it all over myself. I actually think I would really like to do a whole 8.5 by 11 workshop, but I know lots of people haven't really embraced the size. Like I said, that's actually the size that I started scrapbooking on. So maybe that's why I like it so much. Okay, so we're gonna do a left and a right, and so I'm gonna go through the measurements. And like I said, I've added and swapped some things out here. So we'll kind of talk about that along the way. So we've got the Lagoon. Like I said, we're going to add the same background. So the Lagoon is 8.5 by 11. See, I think that like for an 8.5 by 11 workshop, it's nice because you could actually just reuse a few sketches and do your own thing. And like I said, I think that it could easily use up a lot of papers from your stash because the surface that you're on isn't as big. Okay, so we have one of the backgrounds. So then they had a big piece of the dot paper behind. So I have cut this one and it is 6 by 8. Okay, and I'm going to add it onto the white daisy. And I'm going to use the same title. Sorry, I'm going to use the same title on here. So 8. So I want it about 1.5 inches from each end. It is a little bit different to get used to the different measurements when you're used to working in a 12 by 12 surface. But like an 8.5 by 11 is a great size to start a scrapbooker on too if they haven't scrapbooked before. Okay, so then they have a piece of this floral print, and this one I have cut at 2.5 by 9, and we're going to add it. Okay, and I think, okay, so I've also changed the photos. So I'm going to do 2, I have 2 3.5 or 3 by 4s. And so I matted them with the purple. So we're going to do something fun with this one down here. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. That's what I've envisioned here. Okay, so I also have cut a piece of this lemonade, and I cut it 1 by 9.5, and we're going to add that. And so I've just got like about 1/4 inch here, and I'm going to add that there. Okay, so the title that they added on this page was Stay Home, so we're going to add that here. Because I said I'm going to keep the titles kind of the same. So there's a full sticker sheet. You think you're going to love this. That's good. And after, I'm going to lay it inside the workshop that I've already done, and I'll show you how fun that will be. So, okay, I don't know if anybody else has ever watched when I've done one of these, but with the sticker sheet, one of the things I like to do is I actually pull this backing right off. It gives you a better visual of how big the stickers are, and you can also easily cut them apart. So when I do a workshop, always in the directions, right, it says cut your pieces of paper and stack them in the right pile for your layout. So lots of times too, what I can do is once I pull this off, you can cut up your sticker sheet and then just add it to the right layout pile, so that because there's a big difference sometimes. Sorry, I should put this down before I stick it onto something else. There's an illusion because of the outline around some of the stickers as to the actual size of the sticker. So when I start to design and stuff, this is the first thing I always do. I'm careful that everything stayed on there and don't rip anything. Some of them are easier to take off than others. Just be careful. So it just helps me know. So now I can see there's nothing left here, right? So I'm just going to throw this in the garbage. And then if I want to cut up the pieces, I can, right? So it's easy to cut around the wax pieces of paper. And instead of trying to pry them out of the white backing. Sometimes that does not work the best. Okay, so there we go. So you can see it looks completely different when you actually pull all that white space off. Okay, so now I know I want my photos in here like this. And my title still fits, no problem. So I'm just going to add it just at the top there. I have to take the little inside of the, thank you. It does make a huge difference. So just be careful because some of the stickers do stick. So just make sure that you're careful. Don't do it too fast. And then, okay, so we're going to keep the stay home just like they did in the first one, but I have switched out. They had like the toilet paper zip strip. We're not going to add that here, but they did have the stripe. So I pulled the rainbow zip strip, so we're going to add those here now. And then we're going to also add in some shimmer trim because everything I do, you guys know, has to have shimmer trim somewhere. So I'm going to go, I think, a little bit lower. So the bottom, I'm going to do this at 2 inches from the bottom. So I kept some of the elements the same, but really dramatically changed the proportions so that they could fit on here. But we're going to keep, like I said, some of the elements the same. So this is my my doodle that loves to be comfortable, we'll just say that. Okay, so then, oh, we're gonna add our shimmer trim. So I pulled out the lemonade, and mostly because I ran out of grape. In my workshop with In This Together, I used the grape shimmer trim and I love it. But on this one, we are going to use the lemonade because that order has not shown back up yet. So, okay, so I'm just going to cut a length that is just a little bit longer than my lemonade strip. And then, okay, I've done this before too, but sometimes it's hard to get the backing off the shimmer trim. So I'm just going to add a little piece of adhesive to the, normally I do it on the edge of my desk, but then you guys couldn't see it. So I'm just sticking the backing down, and then the clear plastic piece stays there and the shimmer trim comes off. So normally they're hanging off the edge of my desk, but I thought I would do it so you guys could see. Okay, so there we go. We're roughing this in. Okay, so now I have this. Okay, so then we're going to do my little Emmy. And so I'm not sure if you can see or tell, but so she's lying on the same couch, but she has toilet paper underneath her chin. So she went into the bathroom and found the toilet paper and helped herself. So I'm going to put this in underneath a flip flap because I think I'm going to tell the funny story, right? And so you have to lift up the flip flap to read her story. So this is going to be my journaling box, and I have flip flap here. So the photos are all 3x4 photos. So I have a flip flap. Now you can do flip flaps on top of your page protector or on your page and then cut it through. Because I'm doing this, we are going to attach it to my page and then I'll cut it after because I'm not afraid to cut the page protector after. So then this will be my little journaling spot, and then she's going to go like this. Okay, so I've opened the flip flap, right? I just want to make sure to get everything lined up properly. It's got the backing on of it and the glue is underneath. So you're going to fold it like an envelope. So she's going to sit like this. So she's going to sit on the page like this. So when I'm testing it, I'm going to flip it up and insert my other photograph into it so that I know when I glue it down, everything's going in the right direction. Okay, so, but I want this matted the same. So we're gonna add a mat to our journaling box. So I'm gonna draw my lines on my journaling box quickly for you. So I'm just going to put a tiny bit of adhesive on the back of my mat, on the back of my white daisy, add it to my mat. Okay, I'm going to grab my ruler, and I always leave a larger. Okay, so I really like my new photo printer, so I got the Epson PictureMate 400. I think that's right. Yes. But I have also, so that I use for all my 4x6s or anything that I bring into the Picture My Life app, and then I could print them side by side. So like if I'm doing 2 3x4s, right, you can print them together onto a 4x6. So also I recently discovered, which is very exciting, I've been printing, so the weird size photos, so like if I needed a 3x3, right, that doesn't go nicely onto a 4x6. You either have too much around it. So because I have PicMonkey for my business, I have started, when I have lots of photos like that, so like 2x2s or 4x4s, even 3x3s, instead of trying to print them on a 4x6 and then having wasted space, I'll fill an 8.5 by 11 and print them on good photo paper on my regular printer. So I don't know if you get, when you guys saw the photo this morning. So I took the photos that I knew I wanted for today, and I put them on the photo paper in PicMonkey, and then grouped them all together, like grouped them onto the 8.5 by 11 and printed them that way. So that was for today. But that doesn't always work, or it's not always the best option, right? Sometimes it's better to, like if I was just printing 2 3x4s, then I would have just done it in the Picture My Life app, and I would have just printed them on my little printer. But I actually really like it. It's super convenient. I am trying to use up some photos also that I already have printed. So when I'm teaching in creative collaboration, I've started going into some of my boxes of already printed photographs too, which is feels super nice to actually throw those photos on layouts. So I've got a whole combination of printing things going on these days. So I'm just drawing my journaling lines on my box because I know how much space I like between my lines, and I always leave a little bit more at the top and like 1/8 of an inch border around the outside. Okay, so there we go. That is done. Okay, so now this is going down here, this is going here. She's going to go on top like this. And two, with the smaller size, that flip-flaps are a super fun and easy way to add more photos. Okay, so let's just see what else they have on this page. Okay, so they have a sticker, miss your face, just chillin'. Well, they definitely could use the just chillin' sticker, that's for sure, these two. So we have this one and this one. And then showering optional. I don't think that we'll do that one for them. But there's the stay home. Okay. So, but we'll put these down. I just kind of wanted to know how much space I needed over there. Okay, so this is a prime example of when this comes in super handy. Okay, so the TV is the just chillin'. So let's see how it fits. Oh, and we need this, miss your face. So now see how easy they cut apart. I don't know if you've ever tried to cut the sticker sheets with that white backing still on there. It's actually very difficult, and half the time you end up cutting your sticker. Okay, so okay, how perfect is that? Those both fit there. Okay, I just wanted to know before we started adhering her down here. Okay, so I'm going to add now my journaling box to the mat. I think we'll pop up some of these things. Okay, so we are going to, okay. I'm gonna not glue down my top just yet, because I want to tuck the flip flap underneath there, because like I said, because I'm doing it here, I'll do it underneath my page protector. Okay, so now I want her to sit right on top so that she has the mat around her. So I'm going to line her up. I need like another 1/2 inch. I love that my table is counter height, but this is when it's not so handy. So those are very staticky. Okay, so I've lined it up right over top, and I've got all my pieces pushed all the way down into my flip flap. So then I line her up on top, and I'm just going to tuck it underneath my mat. Okay, like so. There we go. So now, there we go. How cute is that? Okay, so then I'm going to add Obi above her. He's like the most chill dog. My daughter was here today, and she just said to me, she said, oh, her boyfriend just said, because he loves my daughter's boyfriend, and apparently he said to her the other day, Obi is like the ideal dog. She obviously can cause a little bit of mischief. Okay, so let's add You're welcome. Okay, we're gonna add foam tape here because you guys know I love foam tape. Maybe I should put self-care on them, beside them. That's funny. Okay, so I have a whole pile of these inserts from Shakers, so we're gonna add them here. Okay, so we'll do this one here and this one up here. Maybe I'll put this on thin foam tape. We're going to add some of the dots. Okay, and then let's see, let's add I still have the plastic from the, okay, I'm gonna take this one of the bigger hearts, and add it up here. Oops. Right there. Oh my goodness, this is turning out super cute. Okay, so stay on task here, Chris. Because I do have a second page, and then I'll show you how you can just slide it in your regular pages. Okay, so I know they journaled on strips on this one, but like I said, I'm going to journal in here until her toilet paper story. She's always loved toilet paper. So I don't know, so, oh no, you can't tell from the photo, but we no longer keep the toilet paper on the toilet paper holder, because if you do, then she just goes in and runs away with it. So we have to keep it up on the windowsill, so that it's too high, and for some reason she doesn't know it's there, so that's good. Okay, so then I've got the dots. We're gonna add a few dots. I did have an open one I thought maybe I would look at first, but they seem to be buried here, so we'll just open this one. So I'll add a few dots and then we'll move on to the second page. Love the dots. I'm so excited that Close to My Heart is doing dots again. I can't even stand it. Okay, so I'm gonna stay away from the orange on this layout because there's not a ton of orange. And I'm gonna use some of the sapphire I know already on the other side. So I'm gonna put some sapphire on this side too. So I just wanna tie the two sides together, and I know that because I've matted the photographs for the other side with sapphire already. So I'm just going to pull the yellow in there too. And I think I'm going to do two over here. So they end up being in a triangle. So I'm going to do one of those and maybe a yellow one. Okay, so that is that side done. Okay, and like I said, I will do up sketches for these after, and I will post them here after. Okay, we're going to move this one. I'm just going to put it over here so you can look at that one while we do the other side. Okay, so we already splattered, right? Okay, so for this one, I made lots of changes on this one. But, so this is kind of what they had here. So they have a big piece in the middle, and then the stripes across, we're gonna do that. And then maybe we'll do this stamping too. I'm just going to switch it up a little bit though. And so these are the pictures. These are the pieces here. So, well, let's put it on our background first. And there, so again, the white daisy is just 1/4 of an inch smaller, just to get that skinny border. So we get that same look. Okay, and then we have some different pieces going on here. So I have a dot piece and I cut this one 3 by 8. And then the floral is 2 3/4 by 8. So they're the same height. And then I have a yellow piece like I added on the other side. So I've brought it onto this side, and this one is 1 by 9.5. Okay, so this piece is slightly wider and this piece is a little bit skinnier. So we are going to add this piece down first. I have the stripes for across. I'm going to add the yellow in first. So I'm just kind of centering it between the middle. But I know that my floral is smaller, right? So we'll go right about there. Okay. My dot. Okay. Like that. Okay. Like that. Okay, and then same thing. So not necessarily do these pages have to go side by side. I'm going to show you. I might even put them back to back, but I'm going to at least make sure that my stripe, in case they end up the same, is at the same level. So I'm going to add my stripe here. And then my zip strip. Okay, so now I'm going to add my shimmer trim. And same thing, I'm going to do it on the, I think I'm going to move it, no, I'm going to do it on the yellow again. Okay, so same thing. Oh, I'm glad. So I'm sticking it down onto my adhesive there. It's kind of funny because I don't really have very much down there. And picking it up. Okay, so, and like I said, without this title, you could totally switch out the title and the stickers, and it would, you would not have to, it would not say pandemic at all. But the other thing is, the reality is we are staying home. So, okay, so then these are the photos for this side. So like I said, I know that these are matted with the sapphire. Okay, so this is the story. My son has gorgeous hair. He has nice curly hair. You think my puppy needs self-care? That's funny too. I do think they do. He has beautiful, like, it's not tight curls, it's just nice curls. But of course we were in full lockdown, and so he couldn't get a haircut. And we talked about it one night at Sunday dinner. And because I'm finished with this, I'm just gonna take that off. He asked his sister if she would cut his hair, and she's like, well, I only know one length and it's like not there, like buzzed. And but then she wasn't here. And so one night after he finished working out, he went into the bathroom and just started shaving his head. And then he came out and said, okay, do you want to help me fix it now? Or should I just keep going by myself? He figured if he went into the bathroom by himself, then and just started, then I couldn't stop him. So, because we would have to fix it. So let's see if I can fit that self-care sticker. So, because it actually, it brings that, oh, maybe we'll do it right on the photo. So let's see if we have a second one. No, I think we will go like this though, because that brings this color over here nicely. There we go. Okay, so then let's quickly stamp the little speech bubble from the stamp set. And we'll build our little cluster here, and then we are all done. So, because this will fit nicely. Okay, so I have not used this speech bubble yet, so let's see what we need here. Okay, so taking the manufacturing residue off of it, and I have a little piece of white daisy here. Okay, I didn't grab sapphire, so let's do that. Okay, so I have sapphire. I'll just do a few because maybe we'll use them along the way. Not maybe for this layout, but okay, and then we'll do the little hearts in the lilac. So this is the little heart. And we'll quickly trim it out. Oh, it's like super sticky. There we go. Okay. Okay, so they did 4. Oh, that's so weird. You don't normally see anything in even numbers, but that's okay. We'll do 4 too. Okay, so that is done. We will quickly fussy cut it out. It would have looked super cute too with the different colors, like the stripes. We could have done that. Okay. So I'm just quickly trimming it out. I love little speech bubbles. This is a nice little stamp to add into all sorts of little spots. So it'd be good on a card front too. It's a nice size for a card front. Okay. Okay, so we've got that. We are going to put one of the houses like they have. So I'm going to use, though, this blue house. And not the purple one. So because we're working on the smaller scale, right, we're going to be able to downsize some of the embellishments. And they'll go further. Okay, so and at this point too, like with this sticker sheet, I would literally cut these up. And if I don't know what I'm going to do with them right away, I'll cut them up so that they fit into one of the little plastic trays from the organization system, and I'll keep them in there. Okay, so we have this and this, and so, but this side I also need to be able to journal on. So this side I am going to add little strips for journaling. But I think I'm going to split it up. So okay, so this strip is 2.5, and that's probably about as small as I could go to write on. So I'm going to add a few of them. And maybe I'll move that up there. Okay, and I feel like I want another sticker in here. So maybe we will, I should maybe just say roll with it, because that's literally what I had to do. Let's do that. Even though it has nothing to do with toilet paper, we really just literally had to roll with it. So in the end, my husband ended up shaving my son's head, and the two of them were hilarious. Well, no, I should qualify that. That's not what happened. It started like that. So Brian shaved his head, and then Max was so upset because he did such an awful job that the next day he went back into the bathroom and finished fixing his hair himself. So this is become much easier for him to maintain over this. So, and he's back at university anyway, so he doesn't really have time to go and get his hair cut. So I have a feeling it might be like that for a while. Okay, so we're going to do this one with thin foam tape. Okay, like this, and I'm just touching the edge of the photograph, and I am going to just outline these little journaling pieces. A little bit. Could also add just a skinny mat around them, but I'll just do that. There we go. Okay, I like that. So there we go. 3 of those. And we will pop up the house on 3D foam. I did a whole pile of shaker cards for Christmas, so I have lots of these insides to use up. So don't forget to use them. They are very handy. So I have not had to buy foam tape in quite a while. Okay, so there we go. We'll go like this and like this. We're gonna add these in like this. I'm gonna add this up top like that. And I'm gonna add a heart in down here somewhere. And then our dots, and then we're done. So I think this is gonna be a fun little series. One is 1 by 9.5. Okay, so this piece is slightly wider and this piece is a little bit skinnier. Here somewhere. And like I said, whoever wants the link to the titles, like the pandemic, this piece is slightly wider and this piece is a little bit skinnier. Put list and then I'll and like I said, whoever wants the link to the title after, like the pandemic, this piece is slightly wider and this piece is a little bit skinnier. List and then I'll and like I said, whoever wants the link to the title after, like the pandemic, this piece is slightly wider and this piece is a little bit skinnier. List and then I'll and like I said, whoever wants the link to the title after, like the pandemic is slightly wider and this piece is a little bit skinnier. List and then I'll like I said, whoever wants the link to the title after, like the pandemic is slightly wider and this piece is a little bit here. List stickers and like I said, whoever dots. Thank you. The title after, like the pandemic is slightly wider. So like I said, I knew I wanted stickers. Sapphire. So like I said, dots. Thank you. The title after, like the pandemic is slightly wider. So like I said, I knew I wanted stickers. Sapphire. So like I said, dots. Thank you. The title after, like the pandemic is slightly wider. So like I said, I knew I wanted stickers. Sapphire. So like I said, dots. Thank you. Partway through. Or was it like that all the way along? Is it still there? Okay, it must have had some. I plugged in my iPad and oh, I bet I know what happened. So when I plugged my iPad in, it for some reason just tries to play back through it. It's super weird, but anyway. Okay, sorry about that. Good thing you guys told me because I never would have known, but that's exactly what happened. Okay. Yeah, all of a sudden it just decides to play back. Okay, let's move some stuff out of our way. Okay. So, there we go. This is garbage. Just let me move this out of my way. But I'm going to show you. So, these could go side by side like a layout. Yes, good thing you told me because I can't actually obviously hear. Okay. But the other thing is, when you do 8.5 by 11, it is super fun to just, okay, so this is like my 12 by 12 workshop. Okay, so you can sandwich them inside too, right? So let's say we went like this. You can put, because it works, on the same holes, an 8.5 by 11 in the middle. So, and then you can still see this on the outside. So I could do these as back-to-back pages, or like the two sides together kind of pages, like that. So there we go. And we just came in here to see what's going on. So like two, right, you can see there's enough room around the outside that if they were all, like if they all went together, they would totally be fine like that. So you could have 4 of them, like, and then a layout in each side of this, or you could do it like this and just lay it in the middle. So, okay. That is what I have for you guys on this fine Friday. Okay, so I will do up some sketches for these and load them up. And don't forget, if you want the link to the titles, just put list and you can, it's an instant download. So you can print them off on your home printer. And there we go. So I think I'm going to not just do the In This Together paper, but I think we'll do like a series. Oh, thank you, Brenda. I think we'll do like a series of different size page protectors because they're super fun to mix and match. And one thing, this is an excellent size too for journaling if you have a really long story to tell. Just to think about, if you can slide it into your regular album, no problem. And if you have a lot, like if you have a longer story to tell, they work out perfectly. So that is what I have for you guys today. I hope you have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you later, guys. Bye bye. Sorry about the echo in there too.